Marianne's wise. She's someone that's going to give you an opinion that you can count on. It's going to help direct your thoughts and your perspective.
Marianne is a champion when it comes to advocating for children and working with families that are going through very, very difficult situations.
When you meet Marianne, you automatically get a good feeling from her because she's very welcoming.
It's amazing to watch a child who is about to testify in court in front of the judge and is terrified and scared and shaking and crying, and after Marianne and Rockland spend time with them, the child can walk into court holding their head high and confidently sit down and talk to the judge, and it's just so empowering for that child.
Young people are unique in that they're smart and they see through folks that might be putting up a front, and Marianne is never like that. She's very authentic and real and trustworthy, and kids sense that immediately.
She just has a special gift of being able to meet them where they are and to walk with them through really difficult situations. She is able to build trust in children whose trust has been broken over and over again.
I think that helping others help themselves is what I like to do. I was fortunate enough to have parents who could do that for me. I think my kids have been fortunate enough to have that, but not everyone has that. And if you're not parented well, it makes it very hard to parent in the future. If we can intervene with families and give them what they need, then what we're doing is breaking a cycle of neglect. And what we know about kids who've experienced trauma is that it does impact every relationship in their lives, but one caring adult that's consistently in a child's life can make all the difference. And so that's where I come from. A pretty significant change that happened to me is I went to graduate school, and I had an attorney call me after I'd finished my degree and said, I need you to come to court and talk and testify it's a contested custody case about attachment and trauma and how the attachment relationship and how past trauma impacts children. That was really the point where I started to view things really differently and started to look at behaviors in children and say, instead of what's wrong with you, to say what's happened to you. The other thing that starts to happen is that's called trauma informed. And the other thing is when that starts to happen, you approach children in a different way. So we all want the same things. We want them to be successful, healthy, productive members of society. But that shift made me look at it from a different perspective and use different techniques to get there. And I have a facility dog, Rockland, who's sitting here with me, and we go to court, to juvenile court, to help children feel more comfortable about being there. I've been really surprised at how much the teens love him as much as the little children. But a teenager walked in to the DA's office, and they were going to prep her for testimony, and he was there, and she fell to the ground and hugged him and said, "My protector's here." Then I had another little girl, these are just a couple of stories, but another little girl who was so anxious, and she was at juvenile court, and her mom was coming to court, and she was really afraid and anxious, and I could tell that she was, by her body language, how anxious she was. And I said, "Would you like to talk to me about it?" And she goes, "I don't want to talk to you." And I said, "Well, okay, would you want to talk to Rockland about it? Because he'll never tell." And she got down on the floor, hugged him, lifted his ear, and whispered, I guess, her story he never told. But that's, if they can't trust humans sometimes with their information, with their stuff, to hold their stuff, they can always trust him. What I would wish, if I had a magic wand and could wave my magic wand and have what I wanted, is for every child to be growing up in a safe, loving, nurturing environment. That's what I would wish for.